Are we doing a YouTube video? Most likely. I might cut this VOD and use it for YouTube. Absolutely. So this is your chance to say hello to YouTube. You can, normally you guys aren't featured in chat. Just not, maybe let me just mute the desktop audio so that all the toots don't come through. All right, so they just announced this today, and there is some really interesting stuff in the version update. Most of this is still speculative because we don't really know what exactly Square Enix means most of the time until they actually publish the content. First of all, Limbus changes. Revisions to the Limbus reward cycle. In the October version update, we extended the time period for defeating the notorious monsters and the treasure chest change from 1 to 4 weeks in order to help alleviate the content's somewhat hectic pacing. As part of this month's update, you can check the tabulation period for the number of notorious monsters defeated by speaking to the Temenos operator or Apollyon operator within Limbus. And then they're going to share some more stuff in the Freshly Picked, which is on Friday, November 7th, so end of this week currently. This is a change that was needed for a long time. You should be able to speak to the operator and say, like, how many notorious monsters are still up? How many more do we have to kill for the month? So I think that's a very, very welcome change. And I look forward to seeing what else they have planned for Limbus soon. Hopefully we learn a little bit about what the NMs are going to be. I would love to see what Ultima and Omega are going to be for the patch, etc. Login campaign renewal, you can only carry over 700 points instead of 1,500. We might get the list of login point redemptions that are going to be there, so hopefully it's good. This might be a little bit early in that sense. We might have to do future Hegmo edited in to talk about this, but basically they're revamping the entire login campaign, which has been pretty consistent for the past, several years at least at this point. And they want to revamp that entire process. So they want to provide an additional wider lineup of items that are both fashionable and functional. So that's pretty interesting. Your points should carry over still. If you have any points to carry over from last time, as long as you didn't spend them all last time you logged in, you should have cap points to carry over. So you don't have to rush to do it. But it might be worth stockpiling some if you haven't, if you've already spent them for the month. They want to create an opportunity to easily reacquire items that were previously available. So that's really interesting. Instead of having stuff be monthly and then you have to wait for the next cycle, having a better, more comprehensive list so that stuff that gets added continues to be available in later months. That's kind of interesting. And then also make it easier to obtain certain alter egos. So I guess that means that the alter ego roster will always be static, perhaps. I'm not sure. They won't give us what we really want. So the Abyssia items, probably, I'm guessing those will never make a return to login points, but who knows? Who knows if that will be the case or not. Their key goal is to return to a system that rewards regular logins. So instead of just like continuing to loop and carry over your items over and over again, or carry over your points over and over again, they want to really incentivize the consistent login, because that's what really, really helps. Give me Cornelia. Imagine if you could unlock a temporary Cornelia pass for 1 month with login points. If you logged in every 30 days or something like that, you log in all 30 days of the month, you get enough points to get Cornelia for the next month. They want to change the number of points needed for exchange, so they're redoing all the point values. They're adding new items. The primary method for developing your character and equipment will be the same as it always has been, playing the game. However, we plan to offer additional ways to obtain upgrade materials and other items. For example, we'll add the ability to use Unity accolades when reforging equipment from November 2025 on. Being able to use accolades to do reforge is kind of an interesting concept. I mean, a lot of players, myself included, just dump all of our accolades, or they just stay capped all the time. So I think new alternative pathways to doing upgrades is a really, really good idea. They're gonna make Cornelia like Exodia. You have to do 5 months and you unlock Cornelia's left leg, Cornelia's right leg, her left arm, her right arm, and then her head. And then if you get all 5 pieces from logging in every day for 5 months, you get 7 days of Cornelia. Hell yeah. Sounds good. And then change the amount of login points received. So instead of getting what you get right now, I think you get 100 every time you log in. They're changing the amount of points earned for each login. The amount of points earned for each login will be reduced up until the 14th login. Although this is a bit of a change from before, please consider it to be part of the item exchange rate revisions mentioned in the first change up above. You'll be able to see the adjustments in more detail when the lineup is revealed for November 2025. In conjunction with this, the bonus login points you'll earn will be earned on your 15th login rather than on your first. So imagine you'll only get like 50 login points every time you log in, or 10 or something. And then you'll get the bonus. So currently you get 500 points on your first login. And so they're changing that to be, you'll get that bonus on the 15th login. So it's really encouraging you to kind of continue to log in and get those points. All this, they're trying to shift to a system that really encourages you to log in daily. And hopefully the rewards, we'll find out soon, hopefully the rewards are reflective of that like pressure to kind of continually log in. I know a lot of people, myself included, don't ever log out. So this shouldn't really be a problem for most people, but it could kind of change the way you interact with the system. And then change the number of points that will be carried over. I think this is already effective, but maybe it's coming for the first time in November. So instead of carrying over 1,500 points, you're going to carry over 700 instead. So, don't bank all your points or which is kind of weird because the exchange rates haven't changed, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see when they announce new stuff. They plan on releasing more information regarding the login campaign on Wednesday, November 5th, which is tomorrow as of recording this, but we'll see. They're also making mission-related adjustments. So, they are making some changes. I think this is all to Rhapsody's Havana deal. Increasing the visibility of the location where the sliced pole key item can be acquired. I don't even know what the sliced pole is. Does anybody know what that is? Sliced pole? A pole found at the Orc Lookout platform in Jugner Forest. I don't know what this does. Is this something that I should have picked up and I never did? I don't know. If anybody thinks or believes this is valuable, let us know. Oh, here we go. The slice pole makes it easier to get through the Wings of the Goddess missions. Oh, okay. So this allows you, I guess, to open certain gates in Jugner Forest S, which is a really welcome change. I honestly don't think it's anything I've ever gotten before. Yeah, I think that's just for Wings of the Goddess. I honestly don't think I've ever picked that up, but maybe I will now that I'm aware of it. Since it's more effective to make smaller adjustments over time, we'll continue to update content when it's appropriate to do so. Cool. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing either, but Jugner Forest does suck. So I'm glad they're making that change. That's quite welcome. This is more important though. They're adding a reward to the Orb's Radiance battlefield, which is the last fight against Cloud of Darkness in Rhapsody's Havana deal. So there'll be an item that drops, I guess, that gives you exemplar points. So this is, I guess, to incentivize veteran players to help new players through this fight. I assume this will be like a mats mix, essentially. Like you'll get like a set of drops, maybe 6 of them will drop or something like that when you clear the battlefield, and you can lot on them and it'll give you 10,000 exemplar points or something like that. I think that's a really good change. Cloud of Darkness is not a super difficult fight. If you've gotten to that point in Rhapsodies, you've got your trust unlocked and everything like that. It's not a difficult fight. I've seen people solo it, but I think that it's a nice incentive to get people to jump in and help out. You know, if you could get 10,000 exemplar points to go out and quickly beat up Cloud of Darkness, I think people will be more willing and eager to do that. And I would love to see them make this, or extend this chain, extend that change to other things like chaos at the end of at the end of Voracious Resurgence. You know, all the other kind of story fights that people maybe get stuck on. I like to go out and help people with those fights when they ask, because it's nice to help people get, you know, their rewards, get their Omen access, get into their Voracious Resurgence rings and stuff like that. But if there was a little additional incentive, I think that people would be much more willing to jump on it. Ambuscade updates coming. This is standard monthly stuff. We got Pirogos in Volume 1 and the Heartwings in Volume 2. I believe the Pirogo is the fight that you can basically solo with a Puppet Master. This is the Magic Hammer fight that you just send your automaton in to beat it up. Oh golly. Vanabout Round 7. I have still not finished a Vanabout. I've never really gotten any of the higher tier rewards because I personally find them extremely cumbersome to do, and I really hate going out and fishing on the ferry from Selbina to Mahura. But hopefully they will be making substantial changes to this. We'll be updating certain aspects of this content before its release in November, using feedback we've received from players in order to make it more enjoyable and more accessible for a wider audience. Currently, we're working on some final revisions to the event in order to ensure it offers something unique for November as the 11th month of the year, and it also provides a different approach from the special round that was held last time. By the time you read this letter, we should be finished with the adjustments and testing. So hopefully those changes are good. I really hope that this makes Vanabout a little bit more manageable. I've always said that I wish that Vanabout had some objectives that were doing content that we do anyway, like, you know, kill X sortie bosses, kill X Odyssey bosses, you know, stuff like that. But I don't know. They seem to want to make it more accessible and more enjoyable, and hopefully that doesn't mean like going out and cooking Galkan sausages. But we'll see. They're adding the ability to cancel the daily objective. You'll now be able to cancel that objective. Maybe it was obnoxious because it took up a slot, but now you can remove it. Show detailed info for each objective. Details such as the completion requirements, the names and locations of the NPCs you need to report to, and other related information may be included on the objectives details screen, but can also sometimes be found within the objective description. As such, we are working to organize and standardize such details throughout the content. We plan to make these adjustments over time, so please bear with us if not all the objectives are addressed at once. So they're actually treating the quest log like a quest log. That's nice, giving you the information that you need. that's great. Adding new objectives. So we're adding new objectives for both the daily and time-based objectives. Going forward, we plan to increase the kind of objectives that as well. For example, there could be objectives linked to ongoing seasonal events and campaigns, or ones that easily overlap with your daily in-game activities. This is the thing I'm most excited about. If this is what it sounds like, and they're making objectives that pertain to Limbus, making objectives that could pertain to Sortie, making objectives that pertain to Odyssey, that would be fantastic. And it would be the first time that I ever actually completed anything regarding Vanabout. But hold my breath on that one. We'll see what happens. Balance adjustments based on the increasing number of time-based objectives and maintaining the number of daily objectives. We are slightly increasing the total number of time-based objectives. As such, we have made an adjustment to the content and scoring system based on the assumption of 5 daily objectives per day. Our goal is to enable you to adjust your playtime based on your schedule and mood, like when you have extra time to play or wish to take on more objectives when playing alongside other players. So it sounds like they're just increasing the number of options, giving you more kind of versatility. You don't have to like jump in and do a time-based objective that only comes up once a day, and if you miss it, you miss it. Cool. And then new rewards. Adjusting the reward system in terms of content used to earn them, the timing, and also the reward balance. New rewards will be added to both the overall rewards and the personal rewards in the silver tier. With the personal rewards, it is our hope that the players will try to earn the silver tier prize, while also looking forward to content outside of Vanabout. Interesting. I'd have to look at what the silver tier rewards were in Vanabout. Let's see if we can pull that up really quick. We're Abjala Seal, 100 Deeds, Mogpel Red, Mogpel Marble, and a Fat Facility Ring. So significantly less exciting than even the bronze tier rewards. Like maybe an Abjala Seal is kind of nice. 100 Deeds is nice, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they suggest. Aman Trove update. Now this is super exciting actually. They are adjusting a lot of the rewards and the systems used in Aman Trove. So everybody is probably familiar with Aman Trove, and they are making it, quote, better than ever. Rumor has it that they refuse to be outdone by Shami's Trove. Oh my goodness. A little in-game lore. So they're adding an impossible to gauge thud. At the present, the loud thud can include items that can differ greatly in terms of both quality and desirability, meaning that it can lead to disappointment if you don't get the right items. I think we've all gotten a loud thud, been super excited, open up the chest, and it's got a normal quality cursed item or a, Paragon card for a job you're never going to play, or a Void Hand, summoner that's worth 10k gil or something like that. So they're adding a new thud that's the impossible to gauge thud in order to make the distinction even clearer. So I'm guessing that if you get an impossible to gauge thud, that means that you've got your malignants in there, you've got your crepuscular item in there, and not a void torso of something. Yeah, exactly. So that's exciting. I'm holding my breath on this. I don't know how much I trust the devs to define what's super valuable and what's not. I can imagine that like you'll get an impossible to gauge thud and it'll still have like your Raisenjima NM drop that's rare, but nobody ever is going to use a skin flare or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But it'd be great if when you do get the impossible to gauge thud, that's how you know you've gotten a crepuscular dagger, something of that tier. But we'll see how that pans out. They're also aiming to reestablish the appeal of the Venus orbs. So Venus orbs right now are more expensive, and it's arguable if there's any added value in going for them. Supposedly it's better quality items or higher chances of loud thuds. I'm not sure. But they want to adjust the rate at which you can hear each sound so that you can really tell the difference in terms of quality when using a Venus orb. I think that's a good idea. We'll see how it pans out. And then they're revising the available spoils. As part of our general revisions, we're also adding some new rewards and removing certain spoils. Please just take the cursed items out. Please take Paragon cards out, especially now that Paragon cards are lower. Like you need far fewer of them. I hope that they just kind of remove some of those upgrade items that are more easily accessible, but we'll see. I believe everyone has attempted the challenge, will feel a new sense of excitement due to these new spoils. For example, take a look at this. And so this is one of the new items that they previewed. What is this, a neck piece? I'm not sure. I guess that's usually a neck, right? All races, which is really weird to have included on, that's all races, all jobs. Enchantment consumes 1000 gil, double attack plus 100%. That's interesting. It's a 1 minute, 5 second cast, 1 minute cooldown. I don't know. That is Interesting. Oh, is it an ammo? Maybe it is an ammo piece. I could see that being something that like maybe you pop when you're doing Aman, for example. I assume it's going to work like a Warrior's Charge where it applies on your next hit only. Not like a, for 1 minute you have 100% double attack. That would be busted. I think we would all just run around with 100% double attack all the time. So I assume it's going to work kind of like a Warrior's Charge or like a sneak attack or something like that. Maybe limited use, but I could see like certain things like Aman weapon skills popping this before your Savage Blade or your Dagda or whatever you're using on Aman, and could be interesting. I don't know. We'll see how this pans out. Looking forward to seeing the other items that they add as well. And yes, this is extremely important. They say it will actually make a sound, so it's going to make a little cha-ching noise whenever you pop it. There we go. And then lastly, new shared. This one took me by surprise. I was actually really shocked by this. This is probably the one thing that kind of I was like took me aback a little bit. They had said that they were making a change to Dynamis so that you could enter solo. We knew that was coming, but this is one step further, something that I didn't really expect. Yeah, that's a good point. On the necklace, it's a 5-second cast. So how many attack rounds are you missing in 5 seconds? So I think that, you know, again, like this is when you're doing your Aman weapon skills firing off, you pop this and you do an extra hit. Dynamis Divergence. They had said that they were going to make it solo, and I think that everybody thought you would just enter Dynamis solo. You could bring out trusts and work on some stuff. They went one step further, and they're actually creating a separate area and entrance from the current Dynamis Divergence. And that'll be entirely different areas. The existing divergence will continue to be referred to as the occupied areas, and the new areas will be shared. So old Dynamis Divergence is going to stay exactly the same. You enter with 3 people or more, or a full alliance, and you have your timer and you go through and you farm as much as you can. There will be a new entrance that'll be a shared entrance. So people will be able to enter Dynamis Divergence solo, and other players will be able to enter into that same instance after the timer's started. This is really interesting. Again, I think this is one that I have to see how it plays out and like what limitations there are, but is a really interesting concept for a lot of people that play solo, or, you know, aren't in a link shell like Hegmo link shell on Shiva that runs Dynamis Divergence with a full alliance, sometimes 3 times a day. We do a lot of Dynamis Divergence, but, you know, some people who aren't in those shells and just want to go in and unlock their Reforge or something like that, this could be a really interesting change. So there will be, the areas in each nation will open and close at predetermined times. There's going to be a schedule for these areas, I guess. Almost like, it kind of reminds me maybe of Ballista or something like that. The time limit will be fixed and cannot be extended. So unlike when you enter Dynamis Divergence currently and every statue you kill, your timer goes up, I'm assuming that it'll just be a fixed timer. You can only take on the shared areas once per day. That resets at midnight Japan time. So you can't just repeatedly go back in, but it is interesting that it's a daily reset and not the 60-hour timer, which I assume that means that those lockouts are separate. So if you need to do unlocks for a job, you can go in on a solo timer, and you don't have to, like, if you want to do your summoner unlock, you don't have to like burden your link shell with playing summoner, right? You can do that unlock on the solo path, and then you can still go into the link shell Dynamis later. After entering the area, other players can join you. So it's not a fixed instance. People can freely come and go. And then The area will end when you defeat all of the wave 2 enemies or reach the time limit. So it'll only go up to wave 2. There's no wave 3, wave 1 and 2. And that's actually kind of interesting. The version update is going to have more details. I have a lot of questions. Is there going to be currency drops in there? Is it just RP? Is it just unlocks and that kind of stuff? I imagine it'll probably not have any drops if it's shared. So it could just be a quick RP farm and getting unlocks and things like that. But I guess we'll see. What happens if you enter and the instance is on wave 2? Do you get your wave 1 clear? I don't know. I have a lot of inquiries about this one. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out when the version update comes. New shared areas are designed to help players who found it difficult to take on the content before and provide them an opportunity to upgrade their relic armor, or at least give them a better chance of doing so. It's our hope that many adventurers as possible would take advantage of this new feature. So again, like more of it's not going to replace Dynamis Divergence for the groups that are running it, but it offers an interesting alternative. And then lastly, they're just plugging their freshly picked Vanna deal, episode 71, which will happen at the end of this week. And that's usually when they drop some interesting updates and some of the bigger picture changes that they're planning on making. So they said that they're going to be doing some Limbus previews, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get some idea of maybe some job changes, maybe a few other things. So we'll see. It looks very, very interesting. This is a much bigger update than I think anybody was expecting. I was expecting, Dynamis changes to just be like, oh yeah, you can go in solo now. You can summon trusts. Yeah. But we're getting what seems like much more than that. Aman Trove changes were not expected at all. I think that's very welcome. And hopefully Vanabout is something new and something nice. Lots of cool stuff. Much more than I expected personally. And that's basically it. So duration of the 100% double attack is unknown, but it most likely wears off after the first attack round. Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be like a warrior's charge. I think that, you'll pop it, it'll give you a warrior's charge effect, or like a boost or a sneak attack, something like that. And your next attack will be doubled, and then it wears off. That's my expectation of it. If you could pay Gil to just 100% double attack full time, that would be broken. That would be absolutely insane. So hopefully, I actually hope that's not the case. I hope that it's just a single item, single one time, uses your next auto attack or your next weapon skill that goes off. Very limited use on that, not game breaking, but kind of novel and interesting. Definitely a lot more complex than usual updates. Juiced their team. They must have juiced their team. I think that, November is usually a really big month for Final Fantasy XI because it's the 11th month of the year. They make a big deal about it. In the past, they've done their bigger campaigns and things like that during November. So I don't know. I think this is cool. It's very surprising to see and very exciting. They get a new intern for every server they close. War already hits 100% double attack already. I think it might be the only job that can reliably, but very cool. Warrior Hegmo wants to keep all the double attack for himself. That's true. Until they give me every other job's niche advantage on Warrior, I don't want to give up my double attack to other people. But yeah, I think there's some cool stuff coming. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. The duration of the 100% double attack is unknown, but it most likely wears off after one round. Imagine how cool it would be if you unlimited. I mean, if it was 100% double attack all the time, imagine just speccing your warrior into full store TP. You just put all store TP gear on, and then you pop this every minute. you pop your 100% double attack item every minute. It costs you 1,000 gil per minute, but what? That's only 60k an hour. That's chump change. That's chump change. Come on. And then you just have, you know, you're doing 100% double attack rate, and you're in like a 3-hit build because you have so much stored TP. You're just constantly dishing out weapon skills. That'd be crazy. I'll take it. I'll take it if that's the case. I think it would affect other jobs much more than store TP spec warrior. Sure. I mean, it'd be great for blue. It'd be great for you know, your monk. It'd be great for everybody, really, because having that double attack would be amazing. Disappointed that delve and incursion entry requirements weren't thrown out. Yeah, they've talked about wanting to do that for a long time. It's something that they've said they wanted to address, like the 3-person requirements for delve and for incursion. I don't know why they don't just do that. I don't know why they don't just like cut the timers, or, you know, that requirement down to 1 person, let you go in with trust. It is super obnoxious, especially I see it all the time. Like during delve campaigns, some people are like, hey, can anybody just go in with me? You can AFK at the start. I just really need to get my plasm done. But we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. And that's the update.